And the cops came and they picked off the 700 grand. I said, if you don't believe me, I said, Google it. I said, it's all over the news right now in Australia. It was all over the news. The Sydney Herd, everywhere. It was front cover, 700K picked off, businessman in America. So I'm like, it's real. Like, I'm not making this up. And I was so scared. I was like, okay, like, is he gonna believe me? Like, he's probably thinking I'm bullshitting, right? Like, but I'm genuine. I'm talking like I'm talking to you right now. You know, it's so easy to tell the truth when it actually happened. So I'm telling him, and I could tell he's feeling me out. He's never met me, but he's looking at me. He's checking my posture, and he can tell I'm telling the truth. I'm nervous, I'm shaking. I'm human. And he says, Wedo, you don't only owe me 3.2 million, but you owe me 4 million now, 4 million, that's with interest. And he says, now you work for me full time. And I said to myself, I'm thinking in my mind, well, at least I'm not getting killed today. Right? Got that going. Got that going for me. So I'm fucking drinking those margaritas. Like, okay, well, at least I'm not getting killed. I got that. He says, you're going to take 2 years off. And when those 2 years are done, you're coming to work for me full time until you pay back the 4 million. I respect that. I owe the money. I'm going to do the right thing. I don't care what I have to do. I got to pay this man his money. For the meantime, I want you to go run your sports gambling because that's what you're good at. And you do it well. And I don't want you touching anything to do with drugs. I want you to focus on the sports betting and that's it. I don't want any money. I want you to live off that money. I'm like, all right, I got you. I'm like, okay. He says, we're going to keep in contact through an encrypted phone. Make sure you have it on you at all times. I'm like, okay, I work for the cartel now. So that day, Mark, I remember leaving Tijuana. And I remember crossing that border, the same border I crossed many years as a child when I was 19 years old. And the guy asked me, are you bringing anything back? I felt like telling him, yeah, I'm bringing a fucking $4 million debt on the top of my forehead back. But I obviously didn't say that. But that's what I was thinking, like, yeah, I'm bringing something back. So I was like, fuck, man, I gotta work for the cartel now. I didn't know what it entailed, but I knew I had 2 years.
Did you have money saved up?
I had enough money saved for the sports gambling to run that business successfully. I didn't ever dabble with that.
But I mean, like if you had 4 million.
No, if I had 4 million, I would obviously done the right thing.
You could have just paid him
and paid it off.
And the money you were making.
And that I had money in Australia that I was worried about. I couldn't get to.
You make it back in 3 months.
I could make it back. You're right. But he knew my situation. He knew I couldn't go back to Australia. And he told me, 2 years, and you wouldn't believe it. That 2 year mark hit and that phone vibrated